Welcome back to Car Enormous.
This video is sponsored by Car Enormous Parts. If you've got a BYD, especially Atto free, check out my parts link below. You'll find the cheapest BYD accessories and frunks in Australia, and I also have the Dolphin frunk as well.
Today I'm off for another Christmas peak time holiday trip up to Port Macquarie, which is around about 500 k's. So we will have to charge on the way up. To come along for the ride, you can see what sort of trouble we get into in regards to charges. So sit back and enjoy. So I've owned it Atto free now exactly 2 years, and the first time I bought the car, the first week I went to Queensland, and I still have all my stats for the charging. So now I'm going to compare the very first drive I did with this drive to see if the range is still similar. So unfortunately it's the same time of year again, so it's peak hour. I'm sure I'm not the only person deciding to go away at this time. So yeah, we're off. So the first 10% on the battery. Yeah, I got my 40 k's, which is pretty standard. Most of that was driving inside the Sydney metropolitan area. So now I'm already down to 81%, and I haven't even, yeah, as you can see, I'm already on 81%. And I've only driven 70 k's, so not looking good so far. So unfortunately it's 28 degrees outside, we got the air conditioning going, and I don't have tinted windows, and I'm doing 110. So last time I got 200 k's on 50% charge, and I seem to always get that. But I'm not sure if the calibration of the percentage is a bit out now. So I don't know if I don't think I'm going to get 200 k's on 50% charge. So, well, let's go along and see how we go. Unfortunately, I've had a flat tire before, and I may have damaged my TPMS valve on the left-hand side of the front. It's not registering the tire pressure. So I just quickly stopped the car and had a look at the tire. There's nothing wrong with the tire, so it's definitely the TPMS valve. The main reason why I stuffed it up for is because I got a puncher, and I put I ran the puncher repair liquid through the valve, and that stuffs them up. So I was kind of hoping that after about 2 weeks of using that, the TPMS sensor started working again. So I thought, great, I don't have to worry about it. It's still registering again, but I've just turned on. I haven't driven at 110 kilometers for a while, and as soon as I started driving at 110 kilometers, TPMS valve stopped working. So no reading on that, but we don't have a flat tire. That's the main thing. So yeah, so with the flat tire, I was unfortunate enough to get a puncher, and I've had about 4 or 5 punches in the last 10 years. Most of the time when I'm road tripping. So one was between Melbourne and Sydney, and that was on the Easter weekend. So there was no tyre places open. And one time I had it in the Gold Coast, and it was New Year's Day, and there was no tyre places. So I've become quite good at using the tyre repair kit. So I recommend, if anyone hasn't got one of those, it's a really good thing to have with an EV, because it's hard to get the tyre off in these cars and you don't have a jack in the car, so you have to call roadside assistance, and you don't know how many hours that can take. So fortunately, I've become good at fixing punches. So I bought the Bunnings tyre repair pressure pack can. Yeah, maybe I can do a short video of a tyre repair kit, so I can show you how to do it if no one knows how to do it. But I'm sure someone's on YouTube's already put it up there. But the good thing about these tyre repair kits, if you can identify where your puncher is, you don't even have to take the wheel off the car. You can just move it to in my case it was the front wheel, so I was able to turn the wheel full lock, and I had good access to the tyre to use the tyre repair kit. Now, So my first stop is going to be in Cara, which is Fox Charger, you can see there, and it predicts I'm going to arrive with 37% battery, and that is how many kilometres? Only 120 kilometres. Oh no. So yes, would have hoped to got further than that, but anyway, that is what it is, with the air conditioning running, no tinted windows, driving at 110. That's what you're going to get, unfortunately. And we'll see you again when we arrive at Cara. This video is mainly for people who haven't done any road trips yet. I'm sure if you've done road trips, you know how to use ABRP, and you've got a handle on what's going to happen. But this is more for people who've just got the car, and and they kind of trust the range that the car's giving. So at the moment, the range on here says I'm going to get 339 kilometres. Well, that's completely wrong, because even what ABRP is telling me, that in 123 kilometres I'm going to have only 37% battery left. So there's no way this car's going to go 340 kilometres on a charge. So this reading here, do not ever trust it, because they call some people have nicknamed it like a guessometer, because it's completely wrong and not to be trusted. So obviously I learned that the first time I did road trips. So I'm just going to show you one good version of the ABRP. It'll bring up a real-time usage for your journey, and you just so if we click in this area, so it brings up this graph. So, okay, so at the moment, so this is where it predicts we should be on the journey at 55%, and we're actually on 61. So we're actually doing better than the ABRP estimate. So we're 6% up, so we should arrive with 43. That could change on the way. So that's a really good feature to have, because BYD cars don't have any programs for where to stop for charges and stuff like that. So the charger we're going to stop at, I think there's 3 CCS chargers. So it's passing a lot of service stations now, and there's big queues. So I'm expecting to be having to wait, but we'll have to see what happens when we get there. We might be lucky. But we are going to stop and have our lunch, so if we have to wait, we can have lunch at the same time, so that should work out pretty good. Even if we take a little bit longer than needed, at least we'll be getting our lunch in. Okay, we just off the Pacific Highway on the way to Newcastle. If anyone knows this one, we're at Beresfield. We just thought we'd just drive past the charger to see if anyone was here, and there was nobody here. So the golden rule of road tripping is ABC, always be charging. So now we're just getting a top up. So we're nearly up to 95%. We just quickly had lunch, so we've been charging for about 30 minutes. Still getting 32 kilowatts at 95, which is really, really good. And this note down the bottom, the intelligent temperature control system of power battery is working. That's some very bad translation there, and all that means is your battery is getting quite warm, and that's the air conditioning is starting to cool the battery in the car. So that's what that warning is there. And if you're charging at 88, it'll actually drop your charging speed down to about 60 or 50, which is what some people experience when it's hot weather like today. So other than that, perfect timing, really good place, because we've got Hungry Jack's and all restaurants right here, good toilet facilities. So yeah, probably the best place to charge. And the BP Pulse is 65 cents per kilowatt hour in peak hour, and it's cheaper at night time. I think it's like 56 or something. So I'm hoping that if
we're going to get a full charge, we can make it all the way to Port Macquarie, so we won't have to stop again. And the traffic here is quite bad because it's probably the worst day to be traveling in Australia, the Friday of before Christmas. So yeah, quite a lot of traffic. So hopefully we do okay. So we just arrived in Port Macquarie and we topped up again to 100%. So basically, and that was around 27 kilowatts, so nearly half a battery. So about 1.5 batteries. So that's around about 90 kilowatt hours of energy. So I'll work that out, divided by 400, and that'll be the amount of kilowatts per hour or kilowatts per 100 Ks. So yeah, 393 Ks. So yeah, BYD says you can do that in one charge, but definitely not possible. Not 110 with the air conditioning on.
Here's my 6 tips for new EV road trippers. The first one is download the app A Better Route Planner. This will help you plan your journey and give you an idea of where the charges are. I'll leave the link below, and that's my first tip. So tip number 2 is have 2 charging locations in mind in case the first one is busy or broken. This can be a common problem in New South Wales where a lot of chargers seem to be broken. So you want to make sure you've got enough to get to the next charger if that's the case. The other one is, the third tip is have an RFID charging card in case of poor mobile reception. Now I have been caught out where I've gone to use an app to charge the car in a country town without mobile reception. So yeah, I couldn't charge the car without having an RFID card. So don't let that be a problem for you. Make sure you've got an RFID card. And next tip number 4 is be aware of the impact of high speed and bad weather. So when you drive an EV over 100 kilometers an hour, you'll notice that it's going to use a lot more power, a lot more battery to propel the car along. And also things like headwinds will actually cause you to use more energy to drive into that powerful wind. And things like rain is also a thing that's going to increase your battery usage. So it could be up to 20% sometimes in the worst case. And temperature, of course, if you're driving in cold climates. And the next one is practice DC charging before you go on a long trip. Now, most people who have their first EV probably have never used a DC charger, because if you're based in the metropolitan area, you've never actually tried to use a DC charger. So it's probably a good idea just to give it a go. And if you're using a DC charger that's EV, you'll need to set up your tap and go, which makes your charging experience much easier. So all you need to do then is, if you go to an EV charger, is you just tap your credit card, and it will automatically recognize your car and charge your car for you. And the last one is always carry a puncture repair kit. Now, I've been caught out with a puncture, and I've had to use a puncture repair kit. If I didn't have that puncture repair kit with me, I would have had to have the car towed to the nearest country town, and I would probably have to stay overnight at that town and have the puncture fixed the next day, which is a huge inconvenience. Now, with the puncture repair kit, I was able to get the puncture repaired and the car going within 15 minutes. So yeah, you definitely have to get used to using those with modern day EVs without spare tires. So I hope those tips help people out. And if you like that information, and you please consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to bring you more informative videos in the future.